Did you ever have a feeling, something in the back of your neck, a notion, something that felt wrong? Well, welcome to Conspiracy Corner.
The world's ruled by aliens. There's a hidden race of lizard men. The CIA murdered Marilyn Monroe. The second government shot Kennedy. There's a secret group of industries controlling everything from oil to gold. But I'm not a sucker, I'm a believer. I'm not a sucker, I'm a believer. Conspiracy Corner, come to the Conspiracy Corner. Conspiracy Corner, come to the Conspiracy Corner.
Do-do-do-do. Welcome back.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Conspiracy Corner. D-Walk, take it away.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome back again. You know how we do. When we come back, we like ST. We keep coming back. But I got a special co-host, Christian Don. What's up, bro? How you doing?
How are you, my friend? Thank you for having me on.
Oh no, thank you for being on, man. We appreciate this, man. Hey, it's a privilege. And then I got my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Joe BNCO. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, everybody?
And then I got the man, the myth, the legend, the man that do it all, the Invisible Man.
The man that manages 5 podcasts, ladies and gentlemen. I need a vacation or an assistant.
And also keep me, and he also always ding me on everything I say, like ass, tits, and all that shit.
Well, you know what? There's a button for that, and it's called. There you go. Got a comment.
Don't you have a cat that can assist you?
Huh?
Talking to the Invisible Man. Don't you have a cat that can assist you?
Yeah.
A cat? No,
You
that
trying to
cat's
kill
actually he's passed out. It's actually weird tonight. He doesn't want to talk about Charlie Kirk. Ladies and gentlemen,
wake him up.
Welcome. No, hey, the cat's gone. Let's talk about the Conspiracy Corner, Charlie Kirk. I'm honored to have Krishan the Dawn and everyone else from the Misfit Nation podcast, the crew. Shout out to everyone else to talk about Charlie Kirk. I want to say this first, so there's a record of this. My condolences to her and the family, to the wife and the family. I want to say that now. It was a horrific crime. Murder is never the answer. Assassination is never the answer. I'm saying this now. So you'd be like, oh, no. I'm saying this now as a human being, seeing another human being getting shot. It was wrong. It should have never happened. Now the children doesn't have a father, and I get that. We'll put that out there first.
Not only that, his wife and children were there and saw it happen live.
Yeah.
And not to make this like political right away, but I gotta say thanks, Alex, because like there's like a lot of people on your side, and I'm not saying because you didn't do this, and I'm thanking you for that. Yeah. Just there's a lot of people on your side that are like celebrating it and being just inhuman pieces of shit about it, and the fact that you just condemn it, like you condemn it without having to like have caveats and all that shit to it. I appreciate you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because we talked about this with the Hogan thing, and I realized that this is a day and age where you can praise your heroes and crap on them on the same time frame. But at the same time, the first thing you should say that can come out of your mouth is that my condolences to you and your family. Yeah. That should be the first thing coming out of your mouth. If you're going to crap on anybody else, respect the family, mafia people, gangsters, drug dealers. You didn't hate them or love them, but you respected the mom and the kids. Like, condolences to your family. Do it like that, bro. I grew up in a time where we should respect the dead. However, and there's not a however to not respect the dead. However, the legacy of a person is the Conspiracy Corner, ladies and gentlemen, of this era right now. Because we live in a time in 2025 where when one person dies, either you get super media coverage or you get nothing. You get buried. It's been proven time and time again on both sides. And in this last 3 days, it has been the worst between the left and the right. I've seen Don Lemon go on the street and say fucking bullshit to people to make people hate him as much. I've seen the right freaking pop a blood vessel and probably have an aneurysm and say horrific things as well, but then they got to double back and say, oh, I'm sorry about that. But then they triple down on it. And pastors and theologists and people saying things that, why? Why? So this debate is based on what the conspiracy is, his passing, and what's happening now. Is this left? Is this right? Or, I hate to say this, is this the fucking deep state? Is this someone controlling both ends to get what they want? Because I kind of feel it's the third.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too old to not realize like this shit is repetitive over the decades, and I'm not dumb enough to not notice that.
Yeah.
But Krishan, thoughts on everything that's happened?
Well, before I guess I'll give a general sweeping thing, but I have to disagree with you, and maybe this way we'd start like the debate is. I don't find this to be a both sides kind of situation. I think, and I don't know what you believe in terms of the shooter, but there has been proven that the shooter was inspired by left-wing ideology, and the fact is that left-wingers calling us Nazis and racists and fascists for the past 10 years has contributed to this hatred that got Charlie Kirk murdered. So I don't really find this to be a both sides situation. I don't think, like, for instance, I'd like you to give more examples because I think you were a little vague in terms of like you were saying the left wing and the right wing are contributing to, I forgot exactly how you worded it. I don't want to take your
okay, I'll say it again. Like there's videos, I didn't get the video of this, but there's a video of Don Lemon being on the streets talking about Charlie Kirk and just saying rhetoric first before saying the context of that. And I never liked Don Lemon for that. So
what's your example on the right wing side of like the rhetoric or like using Charlie's death in a horrible way?
Okay. JD Vance came out, and that's a Floridian man. Nothing about that. I just know him as the Floridian man. Comes out and he abhors what happened to Charlie Kirk, and he uses his name to go against all these people, all these ideologies. And that part kind of like freaks me out because, again, the guy just died 3 days ago. Like, you don't have to make a crusade in his name. You don't have to. Like, it's honorable about him. But, like, this is the part that I want to talk about more in depth. Like, it's more religious based that I see Charlie Kirk more than political based. I don't look at him as a political figure. I look at him as a religious person that took the idea of Christianism. Because again, I'm actually twice baptized Christian myself, and I'm actually not an atheist, but the in between. I'm really kind of tipsy right now to remember the name of that. The one that believe there's a higher power, but it's not based on atheism or religion. It's
agnostic.
I'll think about it. Huh?
Agnostic?
Yes, actually, I'm agnostic. I believe there's a higher power that someone made us, something above everything else made us, and it's contributing about the whole universe. But it's more. It didn't come with an instruction manual. We kind of invented that over the years and how we think are the something that made us. That's what I think. I think that's how I feel, honestly. And I respect all religions. I never crap on any of them. I never do because I respect all aspects. If you believe a talking tree is your God and you want to help do that. Hey, do what you got to do. If you believe that Tom Cruise is working with an alien god with Scientology, do that. Have fun. I don't respect Tom Cruise because he's a nut job, but Scientology is your thing, bro. I respect that. But that's what I mean.
Okay, so where do you like? I'm trying to think of where to go with that because there's a lot that you said in there. Well, I guess I'll bring it back to my original question because you didn't really answer it. Is what's the right wing side? Because all right, you're saying that they are using Charlie's name to push forward his message that he was pushing while he was alive. So I don't see there being anything wrong with that. Second, his death was obviously connected to ideology. It was a political assassination. So like to use his death to fight the ideology that killed him and use his ideology to fight that ideology, I don't really see the evil thing in that could be compared to leftists literally celebrating and dancing and being like just really inhuman people to Charlie Kirk, and even calling for the death of his family now and his wife. Like what's comparable to that on the right that like you said earlier, it's like a left wing, right wing, both sides thing. I don't see that.
I will give it. I actually have an example clip here. This is from a well-known right-wing conservative person talking about Charlie Kirk, and I didn't think this guy would actually go. Maybe he kind of turned the other way, but I've always like he's not the Hodge twins. Once you see his face, you'll know who he is, Krishan. Like this guy came out of nowhere and started talking about Charlie Kirk in a negative way. I'm like, wait a minute, this guy is super conservative. This guy is super like. But let's just bring this up right here. I have it right here. Here we go.
Kirk, who clearly was the arbiter of the black community, all right, when it came to truth and what was going on, was constantly berating and talking about, single parent households in the black community. That's the issue here. And with all due respect, if he genuinely believes that is the root cause of what's going on in the black community, well, then I would advise his wife right now to either remarry expeditiously, or to put the kids in foster home so they can find a family that has a father in the household.
He's out of line, but he's...
Okay, first off, I'm going to chime in on that because Charlie Kirk made a statement to a black woman at one of his rallies. Okay, he made a statement to there was a black woman at a rally with a child. And he said that he, sorry, folks.
That's okay.
He said that the reason that the whole thing with the separation of household and stuff, the government made it to where not having a black man in the household was more beneficial for a black woman.
Yes.
And that the government, that they wanted to have the black women and children be dependent on the government and have the black man out of the household. But he said that why don't they pay you the difference to keep the black man in the household, to keep the man in the household, to keep the husband in the household, keep the father in the household. That's what they should be paying you for. They should be paying you that difference to have a family stay together.
And to add to that, also to the civil rights thing, to Charlie's point, and this is what he actually said when he was talking about the civil rights movement being a mistake, which I actually agree with, is that now they're using the civil rights movement because it was so blanketed and it was so like broad that they're now using the same civil rights thing to get the trans thing of men playing in women's sports and men being able to go into women's bathrooms. And basically they left it so open-ended that anybody can kind of take advantage of it.
Okay. I have a question for Chris here, and this is a serious question, and this is just sincere. And we're going to base this on the 60s and the 80s. Now, if civil rights movements was a mistake, and again, I'm not going to argue on that, I'm just going to ask a question. Do you think that it should have at least happened because of the inequality before the civil rights movement, with the like whites only bathroom and like going to the back of the bus and then the lynching and getting away with murders and then saying, he was a black guy, so get away with it, something like that, because that still is documented in history before the civil rights movement.
Yeah, sure. Maybe we did need some kind of correction or something, or like there's a possibility that we could have just gotten here anyway without the civil rights movement. But if we did need a correction, then sure, I'm fine with that. But I think we overcorrected it, and the overcorrection was so broad and so vague that it's no longer about integration or even like protecting black people's civil rights anymore. Even black people will tell you that civil rights helped women and gay people more than it helped black people.
It did. And I want to say this, ladies and gentlemen, look up not Rosa Parks, but the real person that actually sit in the back of the bus. That even in that civil rights movement, they were doing their own propaganda during that time to benefit themselves.
No,
it's on drunk history.
I think it was all propaganda. When you actually really look into it, it's all propaganda. Emmett Till was propaganda.
No, but did y'all know Rosa Parks had a car, but just so she just wanted to get on the bus that one day?
No, what it was is that there was other people. There was another woman before Rosa Parks that they were going to use her story. I forget her name, but they were going to use her story because it was the same exact thing.
But just
she was a little bit more like
darker,
rambunctious. Yeah, darker. Yeah, you know what we mean by that.
Yeah.
No, just saying she was ugly. Like it's historically accurate. She was ugly. And they're like, you know what? She's ugly. Rosa Parks is beautiful.
But no, it was also that I think she was a little more like, I guess the best word would be like ghetto, ratchet. She wasn't like how Rosa Parks was basically a member of the NAACP, and she was like very high up. She had friends in high places.
The color of this remote, that's what she was.
I thought that was a damn clip. I was like, God damn. I was like, no, we're
I thought it
showing
was
the damn
too.
clip on TV.
About to say, what you
just
threatening me, dog?
Okay, but like that's what I mean. Like,
yeah, they used Rosa Parks because she had friends that were in the NAACP and she was part of it too. So they just staged this thing with Rosa Parks and she got arrested, when in reality there was like a lot of black people already getting arrested for the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, here's a question for you though. Here's a question that we're gonna lead into another clip, and you can answer me this, Chris, and everyone else can answer after you. If there was no MLK and Malcolm X, there were other leaders, obviously. There was Farrakhan and other things. But if there was no those two, would the civil rights movement would have succeeded? In those two?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. They just needed a face for it. It's kind of like any movement.
I feel like they would have just put somebody else in that position.
Okay.
I feel like the government would have just put somebody else in that position.
Yeah. Like I've always believed.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. You're right.
Malcolm X was an inside job. Like, okay, these guys served our purpose. Take them out. That's it. Boom, boom.
Well,
and I've always believed that over the years.
Malcolm X was murdered by the Muslim Brotherhood because he was. What happened was he found out that the Prophet Elijah Muhammad was actually fucking a 14-year-old, and he was going to expose it. And then he also like sort of changed up his message, that it went away from the Muslim thing and it went more towards like uniting races and black people. You need white people. Stop acting like we're gonna do this divided. Like when he started preaching that and going against the Muslim Brotherhood, they killed him.
Thank you, Brian. Same thing. Like that's historically accurate. Like, yo, she was ugly. Like that's she was rambunctious and ghetto, but she was ugly first.
It was hard to sell her.
Yeah.
So they just were like, oh, well, we have this girl, Rosa Parks. She'll take the hit. She'll go out and get arrested for that, and then we'll just blow that up.
Krishan, I will say this now. Krishan is bringing back a couple levels of how he really talks, because he's really being nice to the other woman. That's Rosa. I was like, wow. 2 years ago, he would have said like 4 or 5 race jokes in a row. But like, you've really grown, Krishan. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like since Charlie's death, I was like, I was really looking at my show. I'm still gonna do my show the way it is, but I was like, I kind of want my show to mean more than it does, and that's kind of my new like little crusade, is to be a little like a little smarter, go about it. And I want to be a peacemaker. I really do. I don't believe that the way to go is for us to like go at each other's heads. I think
no, it ain't.
Yeah.
Really bad path. Really bad.
We should be trying to grow with each other, bro.
Yeah.
Now,
One of the
I
first
wanna
things
say
I
this.
did on the night that Charlie was murdered, I did one of my friend's shows who's a leftist because I felt like we can't just like separate just because of this. So just want to make that clear too. Go ahead, Alex.
You sent me a video of Nick Fuentes crapping on Charlie Kirk. If you want me to show that, I'll show that. But before we get that,
can I explain that real quick? There's a
Yes, please.
video because it's comparing Nick Fuentes, but there's a video of Charlie Kirk because there's a lot of like bullshit going around about him being a racist. So I want you to like skip ahead to the Charlie Kirk part because they're comparing Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk in the clip. But I want you to play it because it's proof that Charlie Kirk was not a racist. He actually fought against white supremacists that were in the right wing party, which I do the same thing. Because I've seen it. I've seen it grow.
I have two clips. One, him talking about MLK, and one talking about that in 2019, he did help a bunch of African Americans go to the White House, and yet there actually is a person vetting him. So I have those two clips back to back. But let me show the clip of MLK because it's the same thing that Nick Fuentes is saying, but I'm gonna say it in a context of this. Ladies and gentlemen, this was made by someone crazy, not me. Let's go.
Awful. There is a mythology around MLK that does not warrant the reverence that he gets treated with in America. Should he be mentioned amongst lots of people in the 20th century that was complicated and at the end of his life advocated for a more communistic view and then actually got away from race blindness and actually got towards race obsession? I'm totally cool with that. He did some great things. He did some things that were not so great. In America, though, you must understand, he is looked to as the new founding father. The main contention that I have with the Civil Rights Act and the Civil Rights Movement and how it ended, not how it started, is that we refounded the country fundamentally. We cast aside our founding roots and our founding documents, the U.S. Constitution, and we decided to basically usher in the Civil Rights Act as a new anti-racist dogma, creed, and I find something fundamentally wrong with that. Our birth certificate as Americans is the Declaration, and the law of the land is tied with the U.S. Constitution. It was not the Civil Rights Act.
We note in our piece that Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. And Kirk self-described very, very radical view that the country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true. As we note in the piece, Kirk has previously described Kirk as a hero and a civil rights icon. It's true. I used to be wrong. Why does Kirk believe passing the Civil Rights Act was a mistake? Now, again, apparently they don't listen to the show because we do that at least once a week, right? Once a week we talk about why the Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
You've described.
So I got a question. Can y'all give me 3 examples why was Martin Luther King a bad guy?
He was a rapist.
Allegedly by the FBI. So there's a thing there.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna say allegedly on the show, even if it's not true. It's like, oh, OJ allegedly didn't kill, but we all know.
Oh, that motherfucker did that.
OJ allegedly, you know.
Yeah, but
by the way,
that's where I can, like, as a right winger though, that's where I think we're a little more honest with it because I can go, okay, yeah, he was a rapist. And like this is like, you know, like it actually is like there's also witness accounts and stuff, but you know, take that with a grain of salt.
But
I can still say though, like, all right, maybe that's true, but he also had like he was a powerful figure. I'm not gonna take that away from him. I don't think the things that he was advocating for helped our country. And to add to what Charlie said, I think the thing is that the civil rights movement created this like almost dual constitution that we have where it's partially anti-constitutional, where like me personally, I believe a business owner should be allowed to discriminate if they want to. You know what I mean?
It's their business.
Yeah. And that means like it could be hiring, it could be the people they want to patronize their business.
Let them walk in the store.
Yeah. If they don't want black people to come to their store, that's fine. If it's a black store owner that doesn't want white people to come in their store, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I was discriminated against in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is the free market will dictate. Is like most people that do go with that business model will fail because they're cutting their demographic in half. Because then there's a part of that demographic that they've already cut that they're only getting a percentage of. So the more the more you cut your demographic and the more you alienate people, the less people that are gonna buy your product. It's the free market. So If you want to fail, that's up to you.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right. That is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I think the civil rights movement, and to Charlie's credit, I think he was pointing that out, is it's not racist to say that.
No.
It's equal opportunity. I'm not in favor of forced integration, but I'm not in favor of segregation either. But if people want to segregate themselves, go right ahead.
But y'all notice? Y'all do notice every time black and whites and Mexican Puerto Ricans get together or try to get together, it's always something that come out where it separates us again.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, there's something that Charlie Kirk did say that I kind of agree, and it's kind of weird for me to agree this. Like, just segregating black only schools or Mexican only math things is kind of like, no, because I grew up here in Puerto Rico, and there's all races here. There's Puerto Ricans, obviously, but there's black, Chinese, Asian, like all types of stuff, and we don't look at them as Asian. Yeah, there's some people that will make fun of it and then joke about it because we have nothing to do on a fucking island. Let's be fucking real. But the honesty is, I grew up not seeing color. I saw my friend L.Loren, who was a fucking asshole that knew karate. Yeah, he was a 6-foot black guy that beat up women. Yeah, that was documented. But guess what? Like, I didn't look at him as a black guy. I looked at him as an asshole who fucking kicked people's asses when they didn't want to agree with him. That's who I saw. And Charlie Kirk had the idea, like, I don't see color. I see just people. And that should be the world in the future. But guess what? We have the Olympics where we remind ourselves every fucking 4 years that one race or one country is better than the other. Back to fucking Roman.
Alex, because I totally agree with what you're saying. To a degree, in terms of, like, I do see color. Like, obviously, I see D-Walk is
the reaction. No.
Different color.
It's different, but when you said that, it's different. The actual real definition of a nigga is dumb and ignorant. I mean, like, so we could be racist. We could be racist towards that. Like, we see black people, we see white people, we see Mexicans, we see niggas. We could be racist about that.
D-Walk, let me just explain. Because I work in security, or as in the business we call it Securita.
Securita.
Yeah,
top flight of the world.
They tell us we're not supposed to racially profile, but we all agree. Even the liberals that are in it all agree that we can't do our job without racially profiling.
Yeah, you got to. You see a dude walking in the store with his pants hanging down, but then you see another black person walk in with his pants around his waist. Who you go judge?
It just is what it is. And here's the thing. The worst that can happen is that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And I have to go, oh, I was wrong. Okay. And I do that all the time, all day. And that's the thing of, like, but sometimes, and a good amount of the time, I am right. And that's based on that judgment. So my thing is, though, I don't watch every single black person that walks in. But there is a certain type that D-Walk's explaining. That you go, okay, let me just take a look. Yeah. So my point is, though, is that, like, yeah, inevitably, though, we're all human beings. We're all, we can all, like, and from my religious standpoint, we can all come to Christ. It's not a white people can only find Christ or Arabs can only find Christ, And that's why I want to bring it back to you, Alex, is that I totally agree with you, but I think the thing that you tend to miss is that what you're explaining is inevitably Christian values. Even though you don't want to admit that's what it is what it is. Like, America's been founded on Christian values, and the new world was brought in by Christian values.
Yes.
So whether or not you believe in Jesus Christ, I think there should be a reverence towards it, because that is what keeps most society safe, is that you don't kill each other because the Bible says thou shalt not kill. You don't steal each other's stuff because it says thou shalt not steal. Otherwise, explain where do you get your morals from if it's not God?
No, I get that. I get the morals from my like. I guess for me, morality is based on the family members of and the people that are around you. Because
Where
I
do they
grew up
get their
around
morals?
people that knew what right and wrong was. Like it wasn't about like me going to church every Sunday and be like, oh, right and wrong. Like no, me hanging around drug dealers or me hanging around fucking killers, understanding what the dark was and understanding what the light was. And even to this day, even my mom can tell me right to my face, like, you're the only kid that knew what he had to do, knew that he had to survive, and didn't do anything wrong. And you're doing the straight and narrow. And I've done some bad things in my life. I can admit that in my life. But I know that what right and wrong is. That's
But Alex,
my morality. Yes.
let me just follow up. Where did the people that raised you? Because I totally agree with you. You're a respectable guy. Like we have great conversations. You like I've gotten more out of line with you than you have with me. You know what I mean? I could admit that. But my question to you is, where did the people that raised you get their morals from? And then if it's the people that raised them, where did they get their morals from? Like it's always like,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
you're right. You're right. No, you're right. Like my mom grew up very religious. My grandma was a santero, so she grew up that like there was religion in the background, but there was also Catholic and Christian, and I was baptized. Like I said, I was baptized twice Christian because my mom's like, you need to do it twice because of whatever reasons. I don't even know why, but with her, like in my instance, in my family tree, I have only gone to church only 22 times in my whole life. I've counted every single time because those are the times that I couldn't go to sleep because my mom would like smack me in the face if I went to sleep. It was worse than
it's bad when you count. It's bad you count how many times you've been in church.
Yes, because I'd rather clean. Like my mom's like, you can go to church or you can clean the house. And I was 15 and I was an alcoholic at that time. I'm like, I'd rather be drunk and clean the house.
Bro,
deuces.
As a kid, I was forced to wake up and go to church every Sunday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. Get up, you going to church. Church closed right there. I was forced to go.
Yeah, I had to sometimes, and then I realized like I'm a grown ass kid. You can beat me up, and I still won't go. And they're like, "All right, don't go because I'm not gonna have time with you." I'm like, "All right, you're going to hell." I'm like, "All right,
I had to go.
Oh, D-Walk, you're black.
Yeah,
you were forced to go to church.
I had to go too. I was Catholic.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
It wasn't no such thing as I ain't going. I don't feel like going. You literally got to be sick or play sick in order for us not to go to church. And that you going to church.
Yeah, and that's where I think like a lot of the times like Alex, like people who are agnostic, they don't want to admit they still derive their morality from Christianity. And we derive our morality from divine command, from God. Like in my nature as a human without God, I want to kill, I want to steal. I want to be evil. I want to fuck everything that moves. You know what I mean?
Not everything. Not everything.
Not everything. But you know what I mean?
Right there, though. But you know, Chris and D-Walk, there's a force that when you do those evil things, it's gonna come back to you tenfold. And you know that no matter how smart or elaborate you do it to try to get away from it, you might get away from it, but eventually time is the one thing that no man can control. It will always get you in the end. And that's the part that always has scared me in conspiracy court, ladies and gentlemen. Time. That's the one thing you can try to control. You can try to go on.
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought. Sorry.
Like time for me is the one thing that no one can control. You can plan things. You can try to do everything that you can to control time. But like the phrase says, tell God that you had a plan about your life and he'll laugh in your face. Time will just spit in your face and say, hold my beer. Let's really show you what really is going to happen. That's what I've always felt about time.
And that's where I think you're replacing the word time with God. Okay. Like,
I get that.
And that. Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you.
No, I get that. I get that completely because I grew up agnostic. I grew up more on. I'll say this now. I grew up on more Greek philosophy and the teachings of that more than Christianity. And again, I read the Quran. I studied Hare Krishna. I went to Catholicism. I dabbled in Mormonism. There's a lot of Mormons in Puerto Rico, ladies and gentlemen. They play ball.
Really?
Don't fuck with that. Oh, they play ball. All they gotta do is look. In my town, all we have is just hills, and all they wear is just white button-down shirts with the tie and the black pants, and they walk around all the way in town. And all they got is in the Mormon church where I live, there's just one basketball court, and all they do 3 times a week is play basketball in their shoes, pants, and white button-down shirts.
I hear those Mormons can ball. They're not to be fucked with on the court.
I don't fuck with them. No one does. But back to my yes. Go on. I'm crazy.
It's like playing against Prince.
Exactly. Oh, but I want to say this back to Charlie Kirk. There is evidence that Charlie Kirk is not racist, and here is a video. I don't know when this happened, but this happened. Here you go.
And I want to give Charlie some credit here, okay? Back in 2019, Charlie Kirk helped a lot of young blacks get to the White House. He changed a lot of their lives. A lot of them never imagined going to the White House, and Charlie helped hundreds of young black boys and girls go to the White House. Charlie, thank you for that.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, man.
So for people who want to call Charlie a racist, kiss my black ass, excuse my language. Charlie Kirk is not a racist.
I love this guy. I'll tell you. And, by the way, I have some New York Times reporters for you to talk to.
I'll talk to them.
No, yeah.
And
Hey, Alex, would you mind playing the clip that I sent, because I think it actually explains a little bit better of Charlie not being a racist, because it explains his ideology on race.
Hey, but the thing about it,
you can skip the Nick Fuentes part, by the way.
The thing about it, she was from the hood. She from the hood, and she's saying that. She got that. How I say it? She got that nigga in her. But
Terrence.
I'm just saying. D-Walk. That was a dude.
Oh, well, my bad. It sound like a chick, but well.
Let's just move on. Let's just move on from that.
Which, by the way, that also dispels two things: is that Charlie hates blacks and gays. Terrence is obviously a homo, and
big time.
Yeah.
My bad. Like I said, it was somebody still from the hood.
So the clip that I wanted Alex to play, I thought was pretty interesting, because there is, and I've been calling this out for quite a while, there is a side of the right wing that has been, and they're called the Groypers, and they've been really identifying with the whole white identity thing. And my whole argument was that they're doing no different than what black people did with the black identity. And it's actually connected to politics more than it is like ethnicity or race or skin color or anything like that. But Charlie was debating one of the I hate to say it, but it's actually white supremacists that have like sort of bloomed on the right wing. And yeah, he's basically debating their ideology with his ideology, and I think this clip shows a little bit more of like the introspective side of Charlie's take on race. And I think it proves that he actually wasn't a racist. He wasn't a white supremacist, because he's debating a white supremacist.
The clip. Let me see. Give me a second. I got it right now. I got the clip. Going right now. Here we go. It took me a second to get there. Here we go.
You're good.
And play.
Regime that you want religion and God to be the number one thing we answer to, and not the Constitution? Yes.
As I said, I believe America is the greatest country in the history of the world. I believe the Constitution is the greatest political document ever written. The Constitution was not written for the times. It was
Is this the first clip?
Written to stand the test of time. Because despite how technology continues to advance, human beings stay exactly the same. We are self-centered.
Trying to get it. Come on now. I have really bad internet, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it is.
I could play it on my side if you want.
Broken by nature, envious, narcissistic individual.
Yeah, actually, if you can, please, because my internet sucks ass. Go for it.
I'll share the screen. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I just feel like this is an important clip to play.
No, it's all good. Hey, this is educational facts right here.
Because I'm trying to get it. And it's clicking.
Give me
No,
2 seconds.
I wanted it to be accurate. So that's why I'd rather him let him do it so he can do it. There you go. Go for it.
Okay, let me just find the timestamp. It's not letting me.
Go for it.
I'm sorry. Give me 2 seconds, guys. It's like not letting me pause it for some reason.
Of course.
It's fucking weird. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. I'll have it for you in 2 seconds here. Let me share it.
Got it.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys.
Yeah, what you said.
I've done that in a while. Yeah, D-Walk.
Okay.
At the time. Love it.
All right,
Love
it's
it,
up there.
Come on now. Stay away. All right, here we go. Got it. And adding it.
And can you hear the audio?
No.
Give me a second.
You can't.
No.
Oh, maybe I didn't share the fucking audio. Hold on. Sorry. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's okay.
Screwing up.
There's a little thing in the bottom where you have to share it. It happens.
Yeah, I know. I think I forgot to put
Okay, it's
that.
okay.
This one I put that. Jesus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. Joe BNCO on his channel, D-Walk on his channel. I don't give a shit about mine. I'm at 4,100. Life is life. Make sure to subscribe P.U.W.F, please. Okay.
Yeah. Also hit the notification bell so you'll know every time we go live with a new conspiracy corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll
have more. Here we go. Got it right here. Got it right here. Let's see if this works. Next episode is historical figures, ladies and gentlemen. So
yeah.
Let's have some fun with
Exclusively
that.
white people lived here.
You can hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
That's why.
If you go back to the original founding fathers, they intended this to be a European nation for white men of good stock and character.
Can you show me where in the United States Constitution it says that?
It wasn't in the Constitution.
It wasn't in the Constitution because they didn't believe it.
The founding.
What does the phrase "e pluribus unum" mean?
Why is that relevant?
Because it was on every founding document and presidential seal from our founding, which means out of many, one. You, sir, and your ideology is not conservative. It is right-wing, identitarian, and has no place in the conservative movement, my friend. Get out of line. Get out of line. USA, USA, USA.
So yeah, my point is, if Charlie Kirk was actually, if Charlie Kirk was actually a racist, would he treat a white supremacist in that fashion, like his ideology in that way? No.
Nope.
So him being a racist and that whole narrative is a bunch of bullshit.
It is.
Complete bullshit.
It is.
He cooked my man.
He did. And it's true how to say it like this because honestly, we'll take this out the way so we have more things for this. To say it like this. No, I appreciate you doing that. I honestly do. What I'm going to show you now is what happens. First off, I have a girlfriend and I love you very much, but this woman's fucking fine as fuck, but dumb, dense as a bag of rocks in the Marianas Trench. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're not smart and don't know what the Marianas Trench is, that's your own fucking fault. Let's go!
What the fuck are you supposed to do when you get fired? You just take it? You just take it like a man? I'm unemployed. What am I supposed to do now? Do I go home and goon? Like, guys, what do I do? Like, actually, like, what do you do when you get fired? What's the next step? Do you look for obviously you look for a job, but like, I ain't got no income now. I spent my last $300 on a parking ticket. That was on me. I did let it sit a little bit. It was like a $30 parking ticket. It went up to $300. I really don't want to talk about it, but what am I supposed to do, guys? Oh my god. This you know when they say like once you get to a point in adulthood where it's not enjoyable. I don't know who said adulthood was enjoyable. I'm just kind of, but like, what am my gas? I haven't got enough for gas, guys. Oh my god, what am I? Is this what I can't do this? I'm supposed to do this for the rest of my life? Like I can't. What am I supposed to do, guys? Please, someone put financial tips. Oh my god.
Holy hell. Jesus
I
Christ.
assume she got fired for saying she like celebrating Charlie Kirk's death or something.
Yep.
Yeah, she
there are
did.
so many videos of them
So
like,
many.
oh my god. Ooh. I'm like, I laughed because I'm like, these
Did
are
you-
the age demographic of my girlfriend. My girlfriend's not like that, obviously, but
I-
this is the age demographic: 20 to 25, just idiots.
Did you see the?
I think this is great because the leftists now are experiencing cancel culture. And the thing is the argument that they made when like that we couldn't actually argue against was, hey, companies could do whatever they want. If they want to fire you, they can. So I'm gonna give you the same argument. Hey, I honestly I don't care. Go get another job.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's if you could get one.
Yeah.
we got a couple things. One is they're finally starting to feel what we felt. One, two. I feel like Charlie's death is exposing all the wicked and nasty people in this world.
Yes.
And they're getting what they fucking deserve.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude. Hogan was the linchpin. It's just gonna keep going more and more and more. Again, if we can crap on one side, it's only fair to crap on another side. Again, that's the way it's the world right now. And it sucks.
Did you see the lady that was? Did you see the lady that was she's a nurse, a kids nurse, pediatric nurse for a children's hospital.
Nice.
Okay, and she's African American. She celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk and said that the bitch that birthed those kids should die too.
Oh, okay. Now I want to say this quick. Where are your brain cells, ladies and gentlemen? When someone dies, it makes you think to go on social media to say these things.
Yeah.
We did a show on Hogan. We talked about the good and the bad and everything else. But we were respectful. We didn't get tagged by TikTok. We didn't get flagged. Krishan was there too. And he even knows himself. I'm like, we talked about it. We did the right thing. We're talking about Charlie Kirk. I'll bring up the videos of people talking about this, but we're having a great discussion. Who in the right mind thought it was a good idea to make these videos and put it out there? There's no people. Look. They just made a new Red Hood comic on DC. They just made a new Red Hood comic. And I was reading it, and actually it's pretty cool, like really stylish.
It's gone.
And guess what? It's gone because the fucking writer said shit about Charlie Kirk, and they had to tell DC, "I want the fucking comics back. I want you to get refunds." Every single person that bought that, DC
She was
the
also
one that
a trans person.
Oh
God! Now, this bothers me because you could have shut your fucking mouth for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. Let it stew. Fucking masturbate in your bed by yourself to get it out of the fucking rage. But no, people are losing fucking jobs because of stupidity. Again, someone died. Condolences for her and the family. You could have ended it right there. TikTok it, tagged it, kept it going, kept it moving. I have no sympathy for idiots. I have no sympathy for fucking mouth breathers. Mind you, that girl's fucking hot. I love the little nose ring. That fucking turns me on. But she's a fucking mouth breather. Sorry. I'm turning into Chris. And why am I turning into Chris?
She's a waste of space.
She's smiling.
She is a waste. That woman that you just showed on the screen is a waste of fucking oxygen.
Yes. I mean, okay. Let's not excuse the cuteness for oxygen. Let's just say.
No, I'm just saying that she's a waste of oxygen
I'll even take it a step further that I don't believe half of these people got fired from their jobs because I don't believe half of them have jobs to get fired. Second off, I think they know there's a social media currency in this whole thing of going, oh, I lost my job, so donate to my buy me a coffee. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I honestly I don't really even believe that's the thing that maybe has changed me with this whole Charlie Kirk thing is just I don't give the leftists the benefit of the doubt anymore. Maybe my friends Alex, I don't think you're a bad person and you've condemned the Charlie Kirk thing. So I don't believe all leftists are evil people, but I think I gotta say I think most are. I think it's just I don't know. I'll admit that I don't know, Alex, But just from what I'm seeing, there's a lot of people celebrating, and they feel it's the thing that they feel comfortable doing it. I don't think anybody on the right feels that way. Like when we found out that Joe Biden had cancer, we sent our love and our prayers, and he was our public enemy #1 at the time.
Okay,
like
I give you that.
I just think there's obviously a difference.
I kind of feel you're lying to me, but I respect you, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because you hate Joe Biden more than you hate women.
Explain where I'm lying, though.
No, I believe you. It's just that I've known you for years, and when you put Joe Biden and Krishan the Don, you're gonna get something. So I'm like,
but there's a difference between going like Joe Biden sucks as a president, and I think he's an evil person, to wishing cancer on him. Like I would never do that.
True.
Like
That's
it's
true.
just not in my nature to do that.
I know.
Now, Alex, I have a question for you.
Yes. Bless you.
You notice how whenever there's anger and there's outrage and there's riots and there's burning buildings and shootings and all these things, it's usually coming from the left.
Okay. I will give you that because
the right isn't the one hurting
the last
nobody.
10 years.
Well, let Alex,
years,
let Alex
it's been
explain.
riots and states that have been left-sided. But I want to bring up something of political violence and the history of it, because I learned something about political violence and the history of it, all the way back to Lincoln times, all the way back to the 1930s. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear about political history.
Times Machine, which New York Times subscribers have access to. So Father Cullen, of course, Charles Cullen, was a famed radio demagogue of the 1930s, viciously anti-Semitic and bigoted in many ways, and had a huge following through the 1930s. And it was interesting to read the obituary, which both recognized his influence and importance, but didn't shy away from the reality of the man. And this is how I feel about Kirk. We can recognize his influence, but we shouldn't shy away from the reality of the man.
What does that even mean?
That's what I wanted to ask you, because I actually looked up those three. Like, I didn't know about Lincoln and the mob riots. I didn't know there was mob riots during Lincoln times, and I looked it up and like, oh shit, there actually was mob riots.
Well,
I didn't know about the 1930s. Yeah.
If you have to go that far back to find right-wing violence, then I think that Joe's point has been proven. Like maybe
but here's the thing though.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I wasn't looking at
back
it
100
as
years.
right-wing violence. I was just looking at it as political violence. I didn't even know if these were right-wingers, Krishan. I genuinely didn't know that. I just looked at it as like historical facts. That's it.
No. That's what I was going to make the point of, by the way. Yeah. Back in the day, the Confederates were Democrats. They weren't Republicans. Lincoln was a Republican president. Like the Republicans were fighting, the Confederates were Democrats, and the Republicans were fighting to free slaves from the Democrats. Like this is history.
Most slave owners are Democrats.
Yeah, the KKK was created by the Democrats.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know that.
So do y'all remember
Joe Biden's ancestors are actually originators and started the KKK.
Damn.
Hey, so do y'all remember what Lyndon B. Johnson said about black people?
It was forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, when he said
signed the Civil Rights Act.
No. When he said I had these niggers voting Democrat for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. D-Walk. He did that when he signed the Civil Rights Act. He only signed the Civil Rights Act to ensure that Democrats would get the black vote. It had nothing to do with caring about whether or not they would do well. And it's crazy that if you look at it, black people haven't really benefited from civil rights. It's only destroyed the black community. So it almost makes you think, did he do this knowing? Did the Democrats do this knowing that it would destroy the black community? He just didn't give a fuck?
Yeah. Not only that, if you look at the Charlie Kirk assassination, have you seen the numbers lately, Krishan?
No. What are you talking about?
Did you not see that there's been 5 million Democrats that have flipped sides?
Wow, I didn't see that. The numbers that
5 million Democrats have flipped from the Democratic Party to the Republican
numbers
Party.
that I've seen, there was a poll taken, and take polls with a grain of salt too. Like I do as well.
Yeah.
But there was a poll taken that like 77% of Democrats or liberals believe that political violence is justified. And I think on the Republican side, it's still like a weird number. It's like 30-something% or whatever, which is, I think that's still a lot. But
now
77% is crazy because that would be the majority if that poll represents the liberal party.
Now I have a question here. Now we can talk about political assassinations that's happened over the years. We talk about Kennedy. There was that one, I don't remember the name of the person, but I remember the movie that Sean Penn did called Milk, and that was like that he was a political person. He got assassinated. He got shot down, and the guy got away with it. That was kind of fucked up. Kind of OJ.
His name was Harvey Milk or something like that.
Man, why you say OJ like that?
Dude, come on now. OJ did it. OJ did it. Cochran, if there are angels and demons, Cochran was just hand jobbing the devil. Like, let me win.
Bro,
if the hand,
I know he did
fits, it must have quit. Okay,
he did it. I know he did it.
Well, let's be real. Let's be real. That white girl was asking for it.
Oh, you know what? This is the episode where I'm kind of buzzed enough to say, Krishan says,
that is absolute facts.
And let me also say this. I think it's probably true that Emmett Till got a little handsy with that white woman, and that's why he was lynched. Not because he was whistling. I think her brothers got out there and were like, "Oh, wait a minute! He tried to rape my sister."
The story doesn't add up. We can talk about that too. We can talk about conspiracy corner Emmett Till because the story leading up to there, it started a movement, which then snowballed into something else. I understand that, but there's a lot of weird things in that story too as well. So we can talk about that another time. But I want to talk about Charlie Kirk as a person. Let's talk about Charleston White. Ugh. Charleston White. I know, but Charleston White has been the proponent of snitching and just talking about how black communities are destroying each other and how we should not idolize black rappers and everything else. I've actually heard him over the years. He doesn't like King Von or anybody else that promote drugs. I respect that. But when Charlie Kirk died, he said this.
Of Kirk's death. I don't give a fuck about Kirk's death. Nigga, I don't give a fuck about no white man dying. I don't give a fuck about no motherfucking white boy dying. My shit. Soon as a nigga hit the stage, they gon'.
But remind you, Charleston White hate white people, bro.
I gotta say, I didn't like Charleston White at first, and then he started talking on the things that basically that Alex was just saying. He was going against the whole movement of black culture and the hip hop culture. I'm trying to be censored myself.
Snitch.
Yeah, and so am I. I'm absolutely pro snitch. And here's the thing, because I think it would actually better the black community. And I think that's why white communities are actually safe, because they have Karens who are pro snitching. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Karen. So that I wanted to show that clip because even this type of person are saying things. And Charleston White, we gotta cancel. We gotta you ain't never gonna cancel Charleston White. That motherfucker's crazy. He'll just do whatever the fuck you want.
No. I think you're wrong, Alex, because here's the thing. Yes. Charleston White has always toed that line of where, for instance, I'm a right winger. Right. I'm probably I'm not far right because I'm not a white supremacist or a fascist or anything like that.
Yes.
But I'm as far right as you can get. But I've always toed the line with Charleston, where I'm like, I don't know. He says some things that I'm I agree with, but then there's some things that I don't. But I think there's a true there's a true thing you can really tell the judge, you can judge somebody's character when it comes to a death. And I think to say something like that is for somebody even Charlie Kirk, who would probably agree with a lot of things that Charleston says. Like it's like something in that makes me go like I finally like made my decision on Charleston White, where I think he's a piece of shit. Like I don't want to even.
Yep.
Like I think this is really a line in the sand from me, and I think a lot of other right wingers, that it's like if you're celebrating a death, or you can't even condemn the death of a political assassination for a guy who got assassinated for really telling the truth. I won't even like belittle it to going like he just spoke his mind, or he was just speaking or saying what he believed. He was telling the truth, and that's why he got killed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you can't condemn that, then I just don't know where I don't even have words for that, to be honest. And I'm a person who can deal in satire and absurdity and even laughing at like really dark things. It's just that's one of those things that I just can't get.
Go on, Joe.
Go
I have
ahead,
a question
Alex.
after you.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Alex.
I
Go
have a
ahead.
question. Okay, I have a question. Now, I grew up around religious people all my life, and I want to ask you a question as a religious person. This is sincere. This is not attacking you. The place where he got assassinated, and after that, Joe will go and will show the clip of the hand signals. The place where he was, unalived. Do you feel, and if you look at it from a standpoint from the outside, right? You're a person that's never seen this before, and you see a person sitting on something, and a whole bunch of people are around him, and they are listening to him, and they're just like debating back and forth, but he's talking to them and saying his points. When I looked at this, for some weird reason, I don't know why, but and you can bring this back to being Christian, like by birth. Does this feel like a prophet? The way he was set up, the way he was stationed, it felt like old Jerusalem, where a guy was sitting on a rock, and everyone was listening, and everyone listened to what he said, and moved by what he said. That's why that's what I saw it as a religious. Question.
I saw it, and I don't know. Was that directed to me?
Yes. Okay. Again, you're conservative, but you are a religious person, and you know what people back in the day would like do.
It's even more prophetic than what you're saying, Alex. There's a thing like I heard a rabbi say this, where he said, Charlie Kirk was the Abraham of our time, meaning that like obviously no man is perfect. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and idolize Charlie Kirk, because even he wouldn't want that. But he wasn't a guy that had any scandals behind him.
Well,
like everything that they said evil about him was lies. And he was a guy that literally, and this is how biblical it is. He was a guy that literally said, "Oh, you don't agree with me? You disagree with me and you hate me. Come to my tent and let's talk about it."
That's
the thing that makes it almost biblical. Is back in the day, that's where they lived, is tents. And he would say, "Come to my tent and gather around my tent and let's talk. Let's have an honest conversation. There's no hatred. I'm not gonna yell at you or scream at you." And that's the thing that I think is very like it's almost biblical in that like go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say I felt like Charlie Kirk was kind of like an apostle of God, of Jesus.
Yes.
Where he was sharing God and Jesus' word. God and Jesus were using him as a vessel to share the word, and he was pushing the word out and trying to get the word out to everybody. And he was giving everybody a chance to explain themselves and why they were the way that they were, or what their beliefs were. He wasn't shutting them down right away. He was letting them explain themselves.
True.
There's literally a video of him 2 minutes before he got killed, where he's saying Jesus Christ is the only way. You have to come to Jesus Christ to find, ultimate salvation. And like I'm paraphrasing, but literally he was preaching the word of God as he got killed. Like there's something biblical about that. And then also the fact that he lived a life of like that was Christian. He had a family, it was a nuclear family. He took care of his family, he loved his family. It was obvious. It's like just you have to lie in order to demonize this guy. And again, I'm not idolizing him, but come on, he was one of the most reasonable conservatives. He was the most, and I'm considered a sort of piece of shit conservative. Like I make jokes, I make dark humor, and I do like I'm not one of those conservatives that are like I'm somebody who should be assassinated. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying. Sorry, I'm just saying. Like I'm not saying that like in that I should be. I'm just saying like if it's like Charlie Kirk was not that guy, bro. Like he's not the guy that should be assassinated. He was one of the most reasonable people on our side, bro.
Now I will say this. Yeah, hold up, D-Walk. I will say this: you put the Hodge twins to shame on your rhetoric. They are babies. I've watched your ass for 5 years, bro. You know that you have gone like from 11 to 107, back to 5, and back and forth. The Hodge twins just make little comedy. You have always said the truth with a little bit of satirical comedy, and that's the purpose of doing. YouTube didn't like that. YouTube changes every fucking month with the fucking rules.
Yeah.
And I hate that. This is a new channel. I'm saying what the fuck I want.
Yeah.
But the point I want to say is this. With seeing this, with Charlie Kirk and everything else, and seeing all these things happening, I feel that this is the start of the 60s. And I say this because in the 60s, a lot of shit happened. Political assassinations happened, coups happened, and other things. This is the start of something that everyone has been saying for the longest time. I said this on your channel, Chris. This is the start of the religious wars. The race wars happened in the 2020s after George Floyd. Now we're right into the religious wars.
And can I say,
and martial law.
Can I say this though, Alex? I'm all for it, just because
I know you are.
And I'm not for like I'm not for any violence or even like being a crusader or anything like that. My thing is that the race wars were just a bunch of horseshit. It was all a smokescreen. The fact is that where the real battle we're having is between good and evil. Yeah. It's truly religious. Even the left wing, who like, you know, and I'm not looping you into the evil side, Alex, and I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you, because I really believe this. But there's an evil side to the left wing that they have their own religion. That if you don't believe that men can be women, you're not following the religion, and you're not part of their religion. You're not part of their crusade. Yeah. So I think the left wing is on their own crusade right now, and I'm all for it being ideological rather than racial, or rather than it being like, you know, sexism or whatever the fuck, or even LGBTQ. Yes. That's all a smoke.
Alphabet warriors.
Yeah, the argument is good versus evil, and the fact that we're getting closer to that means the smoke screen is starting to fucking lose. It's starting to like dissipate.
I will say this. I will give you acknowledgement because you have been saying this and YouTube erased you for this reason. And I hate to say this, but it's the truth of it all. Today, one of the BLM members got arrested for fraud and admitted for fraud. And you've been saying that shit for years. Oh, no, he's being racist. No, these three bitches, I won't say what he used to say, but these three bitches stole millions and took it for themselves. And they have admitted that shit today. That's not a conspiracy. It is a fact. And I hate that they took your channel away, when if they would have let it stew for a few more years, boom, right there, evidence, confidence, proof. That's the point I want to say.
They should give you your channel back.
Yeah.
And a lot of my strikes were also COVID related, and we won't get into that. But my like, I thank you for Alex for saying that, because it's just the fact is like, I don't even want people to take away from that to go like, oh, Krishan was right. And it feeding my ego. I don't give a fuck about that. My whole thing was always, my whole thing was always that the left wing way of doing it, or the counter to my argument, was always bad for the people. Like, it's bad for leftists. It's bad for the black community. Like, my thing is not racism. I'll admit that I'm a racist, but I don't hate anybody.
We are racist in our own ways, so
we're all racist. But I'm not gonna say that I hate people that people are trying to say that I hate, because like, I'm gonna admit to, like, I truly don't hate black people. I truly don't hate gay people. I don't hate immigrants. I understand why immigrants want to be here. You know what I mean? I just understand they're being taken advantage of, all of them. And that was my whole argument of calling out BLM. It wasn't to say black lives don't matter. It was to say that they're only saying Black Lives Matter to grift, to take advantage of emotions.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it took you 5 years to realize, like, and then not you. It took people 5 years to realize of, like, people are talking about this. People are looking at the data. People are looking at the records. And now they have to say, yeah, I admitted I fraud. You took a movement that could have changed the whole aspect of time for the future, and you took it for yourselves as greedy bitches.
Hey,
that's why I got mad.
Yeah.
Go on, D-Well.
Black lives don't matter till niggas quit killing each other.
No, Chirac is a name. I didn't make that. That's what they call it. Go on, dude. Go on, Krishan.
Let me just make this one point, because I like literally catch criminals for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the people that I speak out against, I do that for a living. You know what I mean? And my thing is this, and this is where I'm saying, like, my Christianity and my belief in God and Jesus Christ is like taking me to places that I can't even explain. When I catch people, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, whatever, I try to actually tell them, like, do you believe in God? Do you believe in it? Because they start crying, they start confessing things to me. They start, like, I have like literal like interventions on a daily basis with people, and I always try to bring it back to that. Do you believe in God? And a lot of and most of them say yes, I do. I think almost all of them say that, and I say that's where it starts. You know what I mean? And it's the thing. These are people that I think are destroying our society. They're contributing to that, and I still have compassion for those people. And I'm not lying, and I'm not making this up. Like, this is just reality. Like, and I truly want this Charlie Kirk thing to mean something, and I want it to bring people together, and I want to not hate the left. But they're just making it hard. And when it's like, yes, I agree, we need to tone down the rhetoric in this country, and we need to start speaking more honestly, and just, I really do believe the left needs to lead that. They need to lead by example, because I may say crazy things, but I think it's all in jest, and I think I make it clear when I'm joking, when I'm not. And if you can't interpret that, then you're a fucking idiot. And you're doing it on purpose. So I'm sorry to power talk here, but that's my
you good,
my
man.
point.
Talk your shit.
No, you're good, man. Come on.
Sorry, but that's my point. Is just like, I really do want this to bring the left and the right like closer. Like, I think this is a really good moment, and people just celebrating it are really like taking it like in a really dark direction. And I don't want to believe it's mostly left. I really don't want to believe that.
No, you don't want to believe that. Like, there's a video of Candace Owens, literally, like, this came out a couple of days ago, where she admitted herself, like, oh, I used to believe that I used to be left and right, but now I know that it's us versus them. It's more than just the left and right. It's something bigger that even, and you know this, Candace Owens has been conservative up her ass for years, anti-black and all this other shit, like trying to help the community, but no one listens to her. And now she's switching sides after the Charlie Kirk death. Like, this death affected everybody, and they're rethinking their ideology off this alone. And that's what we have to look at from a perspective of that. Like, people are rethinking their ideology because of one person's assassination. Again, he should have not been assassinated. He doesn't have, now his daughters are going to grow up without a father, and that's sad. I will say that again. This is more. Now, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Joe. I had a more in-depth video of the assassination, but it showed more that I can't, and I will get striked. So shout out to Joe BNCO. This is what happened moments before the shooting. What the fuck were these two guys doing?
James Kaufman, World News Report today. Ladies and gentlemen, these are hand signals being given to Charlie Kirk's assassin beforehand. There were two from the guy in the white.
Counting or not counting gang
Then
violence?
look,
Counting or not counting gang
it's like a
violence?
third base coach. And then there you go. Again, I'm going to turn down the volume here. All right before the shooting, one hand sign, then the ear, and then we have a third base coach behind him. Let's find out who these two guys are. We're talking about, look, 1, 2, 1, 2, talking about, and then that was actually.
That's government, bro. That's the government.
Not only that,
can you,
Alex? There's the guy in a white shirt behind the guy in a white shirt that's in the crowd. You could see him in that picture a little bit. That guy pulls a gun out, and you could see it clearly, and you could see the recoil from the fucking gun when he shoots it.
Can you actually play that video? Or you? Oh no, you can't because it shows the actual death.
I can send you the YouTube video so you can see it yourself. I had to get it to the air because they were. Yeah.
Because to what Joe was saying, my counterpoint to that is that in that video, and people can see it, I guess, on like the internet, but it doesn't make sense in the like the angle, because Charlie was obviously shot from, like, it was coming from this angle, and the guy that supposedly they're saying that actually shot him was like on the other side of him. So there would have to be an entry point on the other side of him for it to like.
The entry point would be on his right side.
No, left side.
Yes.
He was sitting left side.
He was
he was on the right side.
But the entry point that you can see on camera is on his left side.
No, it's on his right.
No. Well, I guess
the exit wound is on the right. Is on the left.
Yeah, it's on the left.
Because it was a 30-06.
That's what I'm saying. But no. But you're saying that's an exit wound, but I'm telling you it's an entry wound.
No. The exit wound is on the other side. The entry wound is on the right. There's entry wound, because if you watch the video,
would have to be on the right side.
No, because the left side is the one that gets blown out. Because the right side is where the bullet enters. The bullet, it was a 30-06. A 30-06 goes in small, and then the exit wound explodes. It's huge, almost like a shotgun going off. The entry wound is very small on those bullets.
Yeah, but from what we see from the video, there's no like evidence that there's an entry wound on his right side, and that what we see in video is an actual exit wound.
You'll go back and watch it again.
The entry wound is on the left side. I'm telling you.
I'll show it again. I'll show it again. Let's just watch it again. I sent the link to your ex, Krishan, so you can watch yourself the video itself. Here we go. One more time. Here we go.
James Kaufman, World News Report today. Ladies and gentlemen, these are hand signals being given to Charlie Kirk's assassin beforehand. There were two from the guy in the white.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Then look,
Counting or not counting gang
it's like a third base coach. And then, there you go. Again, I'm going to turn down the volume here. All right before the shooting, one hand sign, then the ear, and then we have a third base coach behind him. Let's find out who these two guys are. We're talking about, look, 1, 2, 1, 2, talking about, and then that was actually.
So I think what there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking going on. We're talking about a crowd of like 3,000. I don't even know if it was 3,000 people, but it was a huge crowd. And if you were to like pick out a bunch of people, because there's another one where there's a guy like itching his arm at the same time, and they're trying to go like, oh, he was signaling. It's like, I'm sure at that exact moment you can find in a crowd of 100 people fucking doing different things, and you can interpret it as signals. Like adjusting your hat. Like I've done that probably like fucking 30 times during the time that we started going live. Like that's not necessarily like a signal to kill somebody.
I mean, no, but there are tactical signals that military people do use those tactical signals.
Yeah, but where is your argument is that the bullet's coming from the right side when the entry wound was in the left. Like that's just fact.
The entry room was on the right. He got shot.
I don't know where you're getting that
Are we
from.
doing this again? God, okay, look.
Did you watch a mirrored version of the video?
No. I saw the video that Joe sent me. It seems that the bullet where we saw the person aim and shoot, it seemed that it entered through the right and exited through the left. However,
so why did he jump back?
And it broke his neck.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. The fact that he jumped back surmises that the bullet went forward, which pushed him back. Because if a bullet shoots you, it will push you back from the force. I get that.
But he also went sideways.
He also went sideways.
Yeah, but that was after he fell because he was bleeding out.
Yeah, he just fell to the right. He fell like
supposedly
what they said up.
And he was hit on the left and he fell to the left.
Supposedly they said that the exit wound broke his neck.
Yeah,
probably.
Because like his body locked up. That only happens when you hit a nerve around your
Well, also if it was I don't know if it was a hollow tip, but those fucking jump around when they fucking hit you. So
like I said, them 30-06 bullets, man, they go in very small and they come out huge.
So
like I said, like a shotgun blast on the other side.
It had to be an experienced shooter.
Yeah. Here's a question I really want to ask. Now, here's a question I want to ask. Now, we're going to bring this up to the whole trans roommate and all this. Let's bring this into this now. Now, if this guy, this person that got arrested, if this Tyler got arrested, did he talk to the old guy to say, because remember, the old guy got arrested first and said, oh, it was me. That's a decoy. Boom.
Yep.
Then they show the picture of a clear Latin man. That motherfucker was from Puerto Rico, burnt. But no, it's a white guy named Tyler. Like, okay, that's kind of weird. So they show Tyler. First off, they say, oh, he's a trans guy. He's trans. The next day, they say, no, he's not trans. He actually is living in a townhouse with another roommate who is transitioning or maybe thinking about trans. That's been
who he's dating.
That's not true. It was actually a trans lover of his.
A trans lover. Okay, I'll put that out.
That's been also, by the way, that's been confirmed by the governor and the police. So it's not like
okay. Thank you for that. I want to put that out there to be
a transfer.
Now,
and also, sorry, let me add this real quick, Alex, is that it's also been confirmed by the governor and the police that he was indoctrinated by left-wing radicals.
Now, question:
ideology.
Why did they say? First off, in the first day, he said he was left wing. In the second day, he said that he was a group called Groypers. That was like even Charlie
that was all
Kirk
lies.
Like those. Okay, I want to put that out there. Okay, good. So If he's left wing, boom, he's left wing. Here's the part I want to talk about. Let's talk about the bullets. One bullet did say was etched trans. Another bullet was called Bella Ciao. Another bullet was said that if you're looking at this, you're gay. Now, is this left-wing culture or just mean troll culture? Because I think it's more trolls. Because if it's more left-wing, why did you put Bella Ciao? Which is a clear revolution and is a clear quote from Italy. Like, that's the part I'm like,
yeah.
if
Well,
Bella Ciao wasn't in those bullets, that was weird.
Bella Ciao was an anti-fascist sort of quote from World War II. So the you got to look into the rhetoric that he was using. Anti-fascist is absolutely a left-wing thing. Like, right-wingers don't call people fascists. And in fact, like politically, ideologically, fascism is a right-wing thing. So like it's like when right-wing ideology goes too far.
Okay.
So
I didn't know about that. That makes sense why they did that. Okay.
Now the other thing is that the thing that was connected to transgenderism was that it was I think the quote was notices bulges or something like that.
Yeah, that's a furry reference.
Yeah, and it said OWO, which is basically like somebody who's attracted to transgenders. It's a transgender meme, like attracted to transgender meme that they had on like fucking Reddit or something like that.
May I interrupt the chat for a moment?
Of course.
We got activity going on in the comments section. I want to touch on something that Cindy Heaton had said. She said, "If we don't, right there, Alex, leave it there. If we don't want men in women's bathrooms, then don't let them go in them." That's kind of hard because let me explain something. I'm originally from New York City. In my old neighborhood, they just caught a transgender man. Yes, a transgender man in a women's bathroom, and he was filming with his phone other women and little girls in the in the stalls. This is why we don't want fucking transgenders in the opposite bathrooms. But when you're in New York City, which is a supremely left-wing democratic state, they push for this shit. And this is the problems that will come when this type of thing happens. Now we have this gentleman who is a transgender man dressed in a dress that was taking pictures of little children and stuff and other women in the bathrooms.
Right.
That is a problem.
What about the
that's also a sign that our society is kind of fucked right now.
What about
and that just happened today?
Yeah. What about transplant women's sports?
Yeah, well that's really the women's bathroom is kind of like the father of the conversation. Yeah.
Oh.
Because that actually affects more people than the sports thing.
So
but it's a microcosm. Basically.
Did you hear about that trans that was boxing that woman? And the trans killed the woman because how strong the trans was?
That's been happening for quite a while. That there's like trans men that suck when they're fighting with men, and then they go and beat the fuck out of women because they wear a dress. It's like the swimmer. It's like the swimmer that
Correct, Cindy Heaton. The previous administration, the Joe Biden administration. Those are the ones who allowed that shit to happen. It didn't happen under Trump. It didn't happen under Trump's watch.
Obama signed this shit.
Yeah.
That was a Democratic thing.
Yeah, and then don't say that it's a Republican thing when you also like try to say that we're fucking homophobes. It's like so we're homophobes that fight for transgender rights. It's like even their arguments don't even make sense.
I'm still mad about when he came to clean and said that water was clean.
I just To elaborate on that a little bit, well, yeah, that's kind of sad about Detroit. Please clean the water for D-Walk. He just gets every night.
Pray for Detroit,
Flint, Michigan.
Flint
for Detroit, just in general.
Why he drinks beer.
Like Flint is bad. Detroit is worse.
It's cleaner.
I love you. Don't kill me.
alcohol. It's self-sanitizing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now,
we pour a bottle of Hennessy on everything.
Let's get to the religious aspect of this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I have two different people. One that has a master's in religion. One's that's just a pastor. Talking about Charlie Kirk and understanding his legacy. Hearing this now isn't bad taste, but I mean, this is Conspiracy Corner, so really we just do whatever the fuck we want. So let's go.
Awful. There is a mythology around MLK that does not warrant the reverence that he gets treated with in America. Should he be mentioned amongst lots of people in the 20th century?
Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated. But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America at half-staff calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land. And hearing people with selective rage who were mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry, but there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil. And how you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life. I can abhor the violence that took your life, but I don't have to celebrate how you chose to live. I am overwhelmed.
So, Alec, I don't know if you're going to go somewhere with that, but
I just wanted to show that religion is used as a weapon against. Because again, it's always been used as a weapon, but now it's being used as a weapon to produce hate. I thought in a church you're supposed to produce peace. That's what I want to mean. That's
so this is what you would call a grifter, and this is one of those people who one hide behind religion to use it as a grift to really push their left-wing evil ideology, and two, it's the perfect example of what I'm telling you, where there's a lot of people on the left wing that are going, I condemn the violence, but Charlie Kirk pushed racist and this and that and homophobic stuff, and then they continue with these lies about Charlie Kirk that they can't even back up. And you notice they never show clips or they never explain what they mean by that. But these are people who are saying, I condemn the violence, but actually I justify the violence. And they're fucking liars. They're evil pieces of shit that actually justify political violence, but they're making up they're saying the right thing first because they know it's the right Christian thing to say. But then they go ahead and justify him being murdered. They're liars. I don't believe it whatsoever. And these are the people that I want to expose.
You know what I call people like that, Krishan? I call those snake oil salesmen.
Absolutely. Okay. They're not selling God. They're selling non-forgiveness. They're selling celebrating death. It's all anti-Christian. It's all fake Christianity. It's left-wing Christianity, which is basically Christianity without its moral foundation. So it's not real Christianity. That guy's not a real preacher. He's a piece of shit.
Now, I will say this. One, over here in Puerto Rico, religion is used as a weapon. Where it's like, oh, I don't want, we have immigrants. Well, there are sermons where like, oh, if you're an immigrant, I'm gonna rat you out, but I'm gonna pray for Jesus. Where you're okay. I'm like, all right, don't say that. Like, you don't have to say that in a church. You can say, God bless you, find your purpose, and you'll find your path. You can say that, but you don't have to use political reasons as a weapon. And this pastor did do this. Now, I will bring up the clip of a person that has a master's in religion, and let's talk about what she says about Charlie Kirk, and then we can bring that up in a second. So here we go.
Defending Charlie Kirk. I don't defending Charlie Kirk, and the one thing that I'm not seeing is them showing written permission from their husbands allowing them to speak.
Okay, let's talk about it. I am very careful on my platform that I don't respond to public pressure, that I have a public opinion about everything, because I am educated in one thing, and that is religion in America. That is my expertise, that is my master's degree, that is what I have to speak intelligently on. So part of my own ethical guidelines is to stay in my lane. I don't want to become like a Jordan Peterson character who starts making very public statements about things well outside his area of expertise. So with that caveat, I'm listening to various political aspects of this conversation. I'm listening to people who represent marginalized communities in this conversation. And the only piece that I have to add is when Charlie Kirk was asked how he wanted to be remembered if he died someday. And there's a clip of this. You can find it. He thinks about it for a second, and then he says, I want to be remembered for my courage, for my faith. And that is something that I can comment on. So to respect Charlie's wishes here, let's talk about how he defended his faith and what his faith looked like, because he repeatedly argued that the U.S. should reflect Christian values in law and governance, and he promoted the 7 Mountain Mandate, which is an encouragement for Christians to get involved in government and media and education and really be able to take power in America. When he spoke at faith events like Turning Point Faith in 2024, he talked about birth control and how it makes women angry and bitter, and it's turning young ladies into unhappy people who are not staying in the home and focusing on family. He has used his faith to also really come down hard on gay marriage and trans rights. And he has also created an environment where political issues really are a part of spiritual warfare. And so he's pushed pastors and churches and Christians to be politically active and to mobilize in order to be a part of this actual spiritual warfare instead of looking at these issues politically.
Want a better way to manage your food stamps? Download the Propel app, the #1 EBT app trusted by over
politically.
One pastor put it bluntly. Kirk didn't defend Christian.
I did hear that song, by the way, Brian, from below.
But sorry for the promo. YouTube's a bitch. So, Krishan, your thoughts on that?
It was a little too, hey, look at me, the Tom McDonald song. But
the words were right.
Well, again, she's very vague on what she's saying about Charlie, like, you know, trying to get rid of trans rights and all that stuff. It's like, it's all like just sensationalism rather than getting into the meat of the issue. Yeah, I don't see, like, I don't see that being based in any truth. Like, yeah, like I don't know. I just don't. It's just a bunch of static to me, to be honest.
But, I mean,
she said a lot. She said a lot to unpack, though. Like, so it's hard to get it all.
The president himself, didn't he make it? Didn't he pass a law that said that there are only 2 sexes, male and female?
Yeah, he did.
Isn't there a thing called reality that says there's only 2 sexes, male and female?
Exactly. Exactly.
It just is what it is.
Yeah, but
unless you want to identify as a box, I mean.
Now, okay, I will counter that and say that we live in a time where 1,000 years ago we thought that if ships kept going straight into the sea, they would fall off the earth. We remember that. That was things that, but now we live in a time where technology and freedom of speech and expressive. Hold up now. Technology, freedom of speech, and expressiveness can really do whatever the fuck you want, and it's sad because there's no.
That's not even.
There are still people that believe the world is flat.
Of course.
And not to mention the overall thing you're saying, like the Constitution and the idea of America wasn't that people can do whatever they want. That's not what free speech even is. Like, you can say whatever you want, but there's sort of like there's exceptions to that. Like, I can't threaten you right now. I can't say, hey, everybody should go and do this to Alex. Which obviously I condemn. Let me just say that just to be safe. But
there's consequences to everybody's actions.
Yeah.
At no time there should never be assassination or murder shouldn't be a consequence.
Yeah, and there's also like there's exceptions to things. Like you can do whatever you want, but you can't harm people. You can't impede on other people's rights.
Right.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really a do whatever you want, live and let live kind of thing. That's where I think a lot of people have a misconception of that America is not a secular country, we're a Christian country.
Yeah.
So her whole thing of going, oh, well, Charlie's trying to say that this is a Christian country and that Christians should get more involved in politics with their Christian ideology. Why is that evil? Why is that a bad thing?
It's not.
It's not.
It's good. It's not. But we're living in a time right now where it's amping up to where if you have an ideology and people don't like it, they might assassinate you. And I will say this now, I feel bad for JD Vance. Like, in my mind, the top three people that had a big mouth was Charlie Kirk, JD Vance, and Trump. Obviously, Trump is protected by invisible walls of America. So
and Charleston White.
JD Vance is protected by Florida. So if he never leaves Florida, he'll never die. It's like a freaking.
But Charleston White.
But Alex,
JD Vance is the vice president.
Yeah, but Alex, take those
once
three.
he becomes president.
Take those three examples and explain to me what evil things have any of those people have said. Donald Trump, JD Vance, or Charlie Kirk.
Or Charleston White.
Or, no, I'm not.
No. But you have to admit that there is an objective thing that like we all like should, whether or not what your political views are, we should all kind of agree with this thing. A political assassination, we should all agree that's horrible in this country. That's not what this country was founded on. Sure, it's happened in the past, but that's not what we are. That's not what we're supposed to be. So that's what I'm saying. That crosses political ideology. There is an objective evil and an objective good in this country. So that's where I think they've kind of blurred the lines of where Charlie Kirk has said evil things, Donald Trump has said evil things, JD Vance has said. What are those evil things though that we can all agree on is evil? Killing everybody in the world for depopulation is evil. We can all agree on that in this room.
Of course.
So there are objective evils. So what objectively evil thing has any of those three people said that warrants assassination?
Trump, not so much anything to assassination, nothing on him. JD Vance, nothing on him. He has balls, and yet he has. I think in the future he needs to check them. Your balls are growing, bro. I respect your confidence, but there's a point of a line between confidence and cocky,
and that's where.
A cocky president.
I'm sorry, Alex, but that's where we get to the thing of moral foundation. Like, leftists get angry when we get confident to the point where they want to kill us.
Of course.
And that's the thing. Like, you take, for instance, the Destiny thing, and you say, of course, but that's a horrible thing. I don't even understand, and I'm not trying to preach to you or anything, but I don't even understand how you have like any kind of loyalty to that party that's championing that, because it's like the leaders of the Democratic Party are championing this. Like they'll do the same thing. Well, they'll go, Charlie Kirk shouldn't have been assassinated. This country isn't a place where we have political assassinations, but he did say racist things, and he did say, and then they go on with the lies. That's where I think the leftist needs to like be a little more magnanimous and go, all right, we need to stop calling right wingers Hitler and calling them racist, because we're the ones dialing up the political rhetoric.
Yeah. No, I get that completely. And again, I kind of feel like you're thinking I'm leftist. Like, I'm not leftist. I'm actually, like, again, neutral in all this. And I want a political standpoint where right now Republicans own the show for the next few years, ladies and gentlemen. Republicans own the show. Trump is in office. J.D. Vance is in office. The Republican has the Senate. They can do whatever they want. And we have to,
And the House.
But Alex, what are we advocating for that's so evil? That's what I'm trying. That's why. But I'm not even trying to be combative. I'm trying to be like inquisitive here, like, because I do perceive you as a leftist, because like you'll say like I'm a racist, or Charlie Kirk was a racist, or he said like bad things, but you can't give an example of what those things are.
And I get
So
that.
that's why I perceive you that way.
No, I get that. That's why I correct myself. It's like, if I'm wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong, and we grow from that as humanity, as humans in general. What I'm saying is that I'm looking at this political standpoint, and I don't look at Trump or anyone else as left and right. I look at as Trump is the president, right? And everything he says means weight. J.D. Vance is the vice president. Everything he says in Florida, which I get that every single day here in Puerto Rico. Everything he says about every single day. And I don't hate him for that. I'm like, I'm just sick and tired of seeing his fucking face every single day. That's a totally different thing. That's not hating him as a political partner. That's hating him and seeing like the Macarena every day in my life. Like, I don't want to see the fucking Macarena every day in my life. He's there. It's a thing. I get that.
He's transparent.
Charlie Kirk, he's transparent, but do you want to hear the Macarena every fucking day? Like, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I'd like to know what my president is doing every day. That gives me way more reassurance than Joe Biden disappearing every 6 months when nobody had anything to say about that.
I know that was weird. What we're in now is a part of life that we have to
No, Alex. Yeah. I'm sorry. Let me cut you off. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. But that's where I think the difference is where you'll write that off, like Joe Biden disappearing every 6 months is, well, yeah, that's weird. No, that's alarming. That's fucking that's president. Way more than weird. That's actually like, that's not transparent. Yeah. That's kind of evil to a degree, that you're not letting us know what you're doing, or even that you're alive.
No, I get that.
And then it turned out that he was cancerous, and he was like going senile. We were right about that.
And I hate that. I will say this, like, Obama did some things, bad things, during the time of his things. So did Bush. So did everybody else. I look at presidents as what they did and what their legacy stands for afterwards. Trump's legacy right now is just like, I'm doing everything that everyone says I can't do, and I'm going to do it and see what happens. And I'm just looking at it from the top of the mountain. I'm like, this guy's actually doing some random shit. And I understand, even now, living in Puerto Rico, where he brought all the by the way, I have videos on my channel, the military coming to Puerto Rico to fight. I know you can't see my finger quotes here, to fight Venezuela. And I put my finger quotes because as a person who's 40 years old and remembers when Reagan said he's going to fight the war on drugs, and we're 40 years later, and the drugs hasn't stopped, they've just evolved and gotten worse.
Trump is trying to fight communism, which I'm fine with. But let me ask you more.
Fight communism.
Let me ask you a more like basic question.
Yes.
Alex, do you think, and you know what, I won't even bring it to Trump, because that's a little, do you think Charlie Kirk was racist?
I think no. I think,
okay,
I will say this. No. I think he grew up the way that most people did, that he was raised on one way, and he said his truth. And people that say their truth and how they feel on what they see on their perception of life, they don't have filters. And you know,
Alex,
Sean, I don't.
what is? You said he was raised one way. What is that one way? Like, explain
the
that.
one way of
ideology.
like the one way that I respect, but I've never liked. It's the religious way and he said it first. He always says it. I'm religious first, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. I'm looking at it from a perspective of growing up here in this island of Puerto Rico, where religion controls politics. It's not the other way around. And it's really alarming here, where I grew up watching American television, where they said themselves, politics and religion should always be separate because it should never intertwine.
Can you give me an example of an example of how a bad way for society that religion, and I assume you're talking like Christianity, Catholicism.
No. I'm not using religions or any names of religion as a standpoint. I'm using the power of religion in Puerto Rico, just in Puerto Rico.
Because I'm here as a defender of Christ, right?
Of course.
Explain then, how does Christianity lead or manifest in a political way, like policy?
Okay.
In a bad way for society.
Okay, I made a video about this a few months ago, and I think it's on my Patreon. I'll make it free for everyone else. A pastor took the old. I told you about this, Krishan, that next to the airport there was a giant like condo building that a super pastor made. There was a Tyrannosaurus Rex and a spaceship right in front of it. He got caught by the FBI for fraud. He was stealing millions from the people. They left that building intact but empty. Now, another religious group that was connected to the governor took that same building and took $12.6 million from FEMA money. And now they're going to use that FEMA money to refix that tower for a religious place. Their reason behind it was that we need more churches next to the community so we can help people. 12.6 million, which, by the way, at that time when they said that, that money could have been used for aqueducts and using it better for the roads, because now, and you know this, I showed you on my videos, the whole south of Puerto Rico is flooding. If there's one bad rainstorm, no one can leave for days.
Yeah, but Alex,
that's what I mean. Yes.
Alex, you're talking about like a sort of like a religious grift, and I'm not like saying that you're lying or anything like that, but I don't know that story specifically. I don't know the facts of that story. I don't know the ins and outs of it. But what I'm talking about, like, explain to me what you mean, like, where, like, that's just a church possibly taking advantage of FEMA and getting some, money from that. That's different than like, okay, this religious ideology made me create this law. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
I get that. That's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So give me an example of that.
Okay. I don't have an example of that. And add on to that, the people that took the money for FEMA was actually a religious political party.
No.
That's actually there's a legit religious political party here. It's Project Integrity. You can look it up in Puerto Rico. They are family values. They actually made a law that passed here in Puerto Rico that says that no one can have an abortion here. We were the only island in the Caribbean where you can get an abortion. Now they just blocked that. And if you do get an abortion here in Puerto Rico illegally, that's 99 years.
Now, okay, we're getting somewhere here. Okay. Now, to you, is that a bad or a good thing that you can't get an abortion in Puerto Rico?
Here in Puerto Rico, yes, it's a bad thing, because
what does it matter where it's at?
No. I say it specifically where I live to be fair, because I've not been in America for so long, because I can't compare America to Puerto Rico.
Explain. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Here in Puerto Rico, condom sales are at an all-time low. I will admit that. Everyone they have, one woman can have the minimum between 3 and 5 kids, but no baby daddy. It's the worst scenario here in Puerto Rico. And Plan B is at the cheapest here. It's actually at $30. In the States, I'm pretty sure it's like 60. Over here, they throw it away like 2-for-1s.
Let's get to the heart of the matter then, right?
Yes.
Do you believe abortion is murder?
Only if the baby is past, like if the gestation period is past a month. Like if it's less than a month, and then that's it. Like for me, honestly, past more than a month, then you don't have to deal.
What makes it any different though? Like then like the timing of it, what makes it different? Like how does it make it not a human life?
From a
like
cell.
let me just be transparent. I believe abortion is murder because it's the termination of a human life. Like no matter how you define it, you're always gonna have to root it to a termination of human life, which is murder, an unjustified termination of human life. So
okay.
Yeah.
I get that,
Go. Same question, but I just wanted you to understand where I'm coming from. So
I get that.
Yeah.
Go on.
I got a question.
You got about like 3 minutes left. Go on.
Is it murder? Is it murder when you jack off?
No.
Okay. Back to the original question. All right. Back to you, Christian.
Right. No, because human life begins when a sperm cell meets a egg, an embryo.
But
once those two things combine, it creates a new strand of DNA, which is a new human life. So,
but in some ways, you wasting juice to you wasting juice to make a juice.
Yeah, I don't advocate for jerking off.
I got a question for Alex, but don't worry, Dusty Walk. You don't got to worry about that. You blowing smoke.
Wow.
Anyway,
Ask me a question. No, hold on. Stop, D-Walk. We got a few more minutes left. Come on, D-Walk.
Alex, my question to you is the fact that you said that religion and politics didn't have a place together. But wasn't it our founding fathers that said God and country come first?
Yes.
Wasn't that in the Constitution?
In that order,
but then I remember,
in that order.
I remember the countless times that religion was used as a weapon. And that's the point that I never liked that. Like if religion and politics should never be together because you can use religion and again you can say
but you can but Alex, you can use any ideology and weaponize it. They do that with
religion and politics used. Sorry, Krishan, I apologize.
And also to add to Joe's question, what religion are you talking about? You have to be specific.
That's the thing. That's the thing that bothers me about that because I can't tell you the answer. There's so many different types of religion here: Baptists, Jehovah's Witness, Mormons, the people. And by the way, you can make your own church. You can make your own house and call it the door to infinity, and then make a church on that over here too.
Okay,
but where has God and country affected the United States of America as a whole?
I don't know because, like I told you, I'm only talking about my experience here in Puerto Rico in the last 20 years, understanding and seeing that our governor, our current governor, this fucking bitch Jennifer, has used her influence and sold all this property and this influence to the religious party because they told her, and allegedly, we give you power, you give us this shit. And that's the part that I don't like. The people don't have land, but religion.
What does that have to do? What does that have to do with religion or God?
Hey, don't when the presidents get when they get claimed in, they mention God.
Yep. Don't they have to be sworn in on a Bible?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not secularism.
No, but I will say this. Look, we only got 1 minute left, and there's no outro, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say, Krishan the Don, we're going to do a part 2 of this because I really want to talk more about Christianity and Charlie Kirk. Because again, I love the back and forth, and I love that you refuted and just refuted my thoughts, and I agreed. Because honestly, if I'm wrong, I admit it. That's what human beings do. That's what a debate does. Talk about it. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. It happens. I will say this: we will have a conspiracy corner of religion in Puerto Rico because if no one knows about this shit, I'll bring it with video clips. I'll have fun with that shit.
We'll talk about it all together.
Yeah, and that's crazy, and it's not ironic, but like you know, in the light of Charlie Kirk getting assassinated, that's all he was about, was just sharing thoughts and differing opinions.
Unity.
Yes, and it brings unity. And somebody said it in the chat. I think it was Lisa Marie. Charlie Kirk's best quote is, "When the conversation stops in this country, or really any kind of form of facet of relationships, that's when bad things happen." Yes. So we need to strengthen the conversation rather than dividing. And that's what I'm all about. And I love, that's why I always love talking to Alex, because we always go back and forth and we debate, and that's what this country was about. That's what life is about, is differing opinions, and let's come to some kind of truth. That's what I'm all about. And get rid of, sorry, let me just say this one last thing. Get rid of the egos.
5 seconds.
Get rid of the egos. That's all I'm going to say. That's what gets us into these.
We're out here.